The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hi, I'm Mike O'Sullivan, CEO of One South Coast Chamber, and we're happy to be here today on the One South Coast Chamber Business Connection. And I'm joined today by Katie Green, our Vice President of Marketing and Events. It's great to have you here, Katie.
It's always great to be here, Mike.
We've had some very busy times recently.
We have. We're kind of taking a little breather right now before we get into some busier times again, but our biggest event of the first half of the year was the celebrity dinner with Johnny Damon. What an event.
How did it go?
Fantastically. This was an event that I enjoyed every single second of the planning process. It was a lot of fun. Johnny was wonderful. He was so engaging. The crowd loved him. We had a fantastic time.
Yeah, Johnny was a great guest. He really was. It was fun having him. He was just a great guest, and great storytelling.
Yeah.
I know I enjoyed it because I had, that time of year. I've mentioned to him, and I've always mentioned to others, being a Yankee fan. But my middle son is the oldest son, but the middle child is a huge Red Sox fan, and that he was like 12 years old in 2003, 2004 when Johnny came to the Red Sox, and all the great things happened, and the Sox ended the curse.
They did.
After 86 years.
They reversed the curse.
Yeah.
And Johnny talked about that and what it was like to be on that team in 04 and just the energy. And unfortunately, I didn't get to hear a lot of what he was saying because while you were talking to him on stage, I'm running around doing other things. So I only picked up bits and pieces. So you'll have to give me a full recap afterward.
It was a fun conversation because one of the questions we asked was, can you compare the leadership styles of David Ortiz and Derek Jeter, because he played for the Yankees and the Red Sox, in addition to the A's and the Royals and the Rays, and he really gave a great answer because he didn't really have to choose.
Yeah.
He just talked about the differences, and the differences are, and he actually compared to watching them on Fox Sports. When they're announcing the television, the games on television, and it's just, David Ortiz is just much more fun, outgoing, extroverted, and always having a great time, where Derek Jeter could be a little bit more serious. Sometimes he looks at David Ortiz like, hey dude, you're a little crazy.
Yeah. Little crazy's not bad.
No, it's not, depending who you are, what you're doing. But he mentioned, how interesting the difference in the leadership styles were. But then you could see it in the way both teams played, and he said he enjoyed both.
Yeah.
Playing for the Red Sox and when they won, and then playing with the Yankees when they won, and it was. Which I think when you're winning, nothing else matters.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, you're on that winning high. I think one of the coolest parts of the night, I'm going to speak for you, Mike, because your face said it all, was when Johnny came in wearing his Red Sox World Series ring, which I got to wear. Actually, he told me to wear it when we walked into the room, which was really cool. And out of nowhere, out of the inside of his jacket pocket, he pulled out his Yankees World Series ring.
That's right.
And Mike got to wear it. And I've seen Mike excited about a lot of things, but I don't know if I've ever seen you that excited. You were beaming. We've got a picture of it. I think we already ran through them. But
I never expected that, because I figured we're in Massachusetts. He'll bring all his Red Sox gear. So I've never expected that. And
there it is.
Yeah, there you go. And we have a chamber member, Todd Philly, who owns South Coast Marketing Group, who's a big Sox fan, who who has, he actually has 4 of the World Series rings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, and if you go back, God, 3-4 years ago now, Rick Kidder and I were having a meeting with him, and he was talking about it. So somewhere in all my pictures, I have a picture of all 4 of his Red Sox rings on my one hand.
No
and I was like
kidding.
trying to imitate Tom Brady a little bit.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Somewhere I have that, and I sent it. I sent it to my family, and it got a lot of one-liners from my son. But it just never occurred to me that he would have his Yankee ring there.
Yeah.
His Yankee World Series
Yeah.
ring, and he did. So that was,
You lit up like a
That
kid
was
in a
a lot-
candy shop.
that was
for
a lot of
sure.
fun.
That was amazing. And of course, we want to thank UMass Dartmouth, Dr. Nora Barnes, who
Yeah.
started this. We've mentioned this on the show before. She started the celebrity dinner 25 years ago. She started it in 2000. And I think I've mentioned she was my marketing professor when I was a student at UMass Dartmouth. And it was wonderful to have her there because she'd given us her blessing, and I was a little bit nervous. Obviously, I always want everything to go perfectly, but I wanted this to be super perfect because I wanted to make sure that we did this event, that she created justice. And we did, according to her, we did.
Yeah.
She was very proud, she said. So we couldn't have done that without her and the help of Shannon, who also used to work for her at the Center for Marketing Research. They were just...
Yeah.
They gave me so much information, helped us get the ball rolling with this whole thing, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, the fact that they had the playbook 5 years later was important.
Yes.
That helped a lot.
I poured through old pictures, and I'm clicking and zooming, and okay, I see this, I see that, and it really helped us get all those little details. So we are very grateful to Dr. Nora Barnes and Shannon Viveris for their help with that. And we're also grateful to our sponsors, the Stoico
Yeah.
First Fed Charitable Foundation. They were our title sponsor. And then St. Anne's Credit Union was our premier sponsor, and then Bay Coast Bank was a supporting sponsor, I believe they were. Because we say this all the time, we could not do our events without the support of our sponsors.
Yeah, that's so true. And, the Stoico Foundation, St. Anne's, and Bay Coast were just fantastic. And Stoico really, Stoico was the game changer, enabled us to get started and actually do the project because they gave the money so that we could afford to bring Johnny in, and that, and even more importantly, that there was money there that we could invest in scholarships.
Absolutely.
And which was really what, when Nora Barnes started this 25 years ago, it was all about the scholarships for the marketing students at UMass Dartmouth. Now we changed that up a little bit, and Stoico wanted us to make sure that it was open, the scholarships are open to anybody on the South Coast, which we did. And deciding who should be getting scholarships is definitely not in the Chamber's wheelhouse. So we worked closely with the South Coast Community Foundation, and Dr. Melanie Tavares Edwards and Julie Gagliardi did a great job kind of leading the way for us. There was a few bumps in the middle there because we really just didn't know how to go about it, but because they have this great process in selecting scholarship winners, and they had I think they said they had over 100 volunteers reading scholarships, and I forget the number of scholarships that they gave out, but it was enormous.
Yeah.
And they really did, but they did a great job. They helped us. They have this new, what's called Partners in Education Scholarship Fund, which means if you would like to give someone a scholarship, you can, at a certain level, you can donate to that. And then, but you don't have to put up like $25,000 to make it an endowed scholarship. And now I'm starting to get a little out of my league on the scholarship. So if you have questions, talk to the folks at the South Coast Community Foundation. But it really was, the scholarship portion of it was great. We ended up working with the Community Foundation to be able to give away 12 scholarships in the name of the Stoico Foundation. And we also had one, which for us was a lot of fun. For me, was a real joy. When our former colleague Rick Kidder retired a couple years ago, we had a party, and we didn't charge people for the party. We just asked people to donate to a scholarship fund. So we were able to give away a scholarship for $3,000 scholarship, which was just great.
In Rick's name.
Yeah, in Rick's name.
Rick is a former educator prior to his chamber life, so.
Yeah, so
we were
the
happy to do
scholarship
that.
portion of that really is big. It's the most important part. I mean, a lot of the people come because they want to see the celebrity, and hopefully as we go through the process again for next year, hopefully the Stoico Foundation will sponsor again and work. You know, we'll be going through that process over the summer and early fall. But it really was a great event for everybody. It
Yeah.
really was. It turned out to be a great event.
Fantastic night. And of course, thank you to Johnny for flying up from Florida to be with us. And I think he was here for less than 12 hours.
Yeah, he had to get out of town
Yeah.
on business, but
Yeah, he's a busy guy, but he was wonderful.
Yeah.
He was very gracious, and like we said, the crowd loved him. So thank you to Johnny, thank you to everyone who came, everyone who supported it. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was.
And just before that, a few days before, we had a meet and greet.
Yeah, it was a kind of a unique meet and greet. It was Senator Rodericks had asked us to if the chamber could help by hosting a meet and greet that would enable the leadership of Brown University Health to meet business leaders in the community. And you know, of course we said yes, because back in October, Brown University Health, they took over Morton Hospital, St. Anne's Hospital, and all the responsibilities for the employees at Hawthorne Medical. They work with the doctors at Hawthorne Medical. They still, St. Anne's still contracts with Primacare. So what Brown Health did when they took over from Steward was, first and foremost was try to bring stability back to where we are in the healthcare field, and they're doing a great job of it. And it was good, because we had at that event, we had some sole proprietorship businesses. We had some of our larger employers that were there. We had folks from the healthcare industry, some of the community health centers and things like that, Health First. We had a wide variety of people that were there, and really got to meet the leadership team, because John Fernandez, their CEO, he didn't just come and say, these are the 10 things we're working on. He came and he didn't spend a lot of time talking to the group, from the podium. He really tried to get out and talk to people, but he must have had 10 or 11 other people from their leadership team that were there. So if somebody had, if there was a town administrator or economic development coordinator that might have property that's zoned for healthcare, the leaders that they needed to talk to were there. You really got a great variety of people, and then Carol Billington, who is the CEO of St. Anne's Hospital, was there, and she got the opportunity to speak. And I'm going to draw a blank. The CEO of Morton Hospital also said a few words, but she kind of shortened her words, because most of what she said was what Carol Billington had said. But they're really doing great work, and it's interesting, because I had spoken to some of our friends from South Coast Health as well, and who were at the last minute were unable to make it. But it was very interesting, because the feedback is, we have to have a strong St. Anne's, and if that's Brown Health doing it, that's fine. It's like it's not always all competitiveness that's out there. South Coast Health provides great care. St. Anne's and all of Brown University Health's partners on the South Coast have always provided great community care. But one of the most challenging things in the healthcare industry right now is there's just not enough healthcare
Right.
in some ways. So the feedback that I got from South Coast Health was, we're happy that they're here, and we're happy that, you know, they're dealing with primary care, they're dealing with Hawthorne, and they're still, you know, and they're working on, you know, trying to find more ways to get more primary care physicians out there, which is a big challenge for all health systems at the moment. So it was, you know, it's really good, and we're fortunate that we have excellent health care, you know, right
We
here
are.
that goes, you know, all up and down the South Coast, from Seekonk to Wareham, all the way down to Middletown and Newport in Rhode Island.
Right.
You know, there's, you know, my doctor's in Tiverton, so they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, so we're really happy that we're able to do something like that, and we're really happy that there's another leading healthcare organization that's investing and wants to, you know, wants to help.
Right.
So that's really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, we welcome them. We had a busy few days. Right, 2 days after, we were really tired by the end of last week. 2 days after we had Johnny, we had our monthly Business After Hours that was hosted by Bay Coast Bank, sponsored by Bay Coast Bank, and it was at Century House, which is another chamber member in Acushnet. They always do such a nice job there. The food was fantastic, and Bay Coast always draws a big crowd. We had a nice time, despite the weather. It was terrible weather that night.
That was awful.
And we still, we thought, oh no, people aren't going to come. It's not going to be a good turnout. And we still had a really great turnout because of it.
Yeah,
We
it
had a
was.
good time.
It was rating sideways from every direction that
Yeah.
day. It was just, it was crazy. But you know, Bay Coast always shows up, and we had so many other chamber members, you know, come. We had it was just a really good time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
We had some new, I know we had some new faces there who were looking to make connections and starting a business. And I know that person, he was able to make some really great connections, which is what the chamber's all about, is helping make connections and build businesses. And that's wonderful. We'd love to hear that kind of feedback at these events especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So coming up,
We've got a few smaller things coming up, but one of the next bigger things we have is the membership drive on June 11th, which our membership director, Cliff Atherist, is running, and he has been running around like a madman to really get it done. And the last I saw, I think we had 51 volunteers.
Wow.
Which, like 6 weeks ago, the rest of the team would have panicked, or was almost ready to panic, because we barely had 10. But he's got about 50 or 51 volunteers, and they're going to be, the primary thing is to really make calls, to reach out to people, talk about chamber membership, and try to figure out, you know, do you want to join? You know, and just kind of get the value proposition out there. And the volunteers, we've got many of our ambassadors. We've got other members from, you know, from our board members' companies, from other companies. I mean, to get 50 volunteers all in one day, it's basically going to be calling like the first half of the day, and then another group calling the second half of the day. And we've got all sorts of prizes, and Cliff's really getting it set up. He's working hard. He's doing a great job getting the prizes going. And of course, both Dot and Kim on our team, they've got a lot of experience, because we haven't done this in like at least 5 years.
Yeah.
We have not done it, but before we merged, the New Bedford Chamber used to do it, and the Fall River Chamber used to do it. So they both have experience of coming at it from different ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a really good day. And hopefully that you know, with all the hard work that we're doing throughout the course of the year, that you know, we'll get a lot of new members that day.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you are looking to join the chamber, that's a great time to join, because we've got like Mike said, some incentives going on, and reach out to us at the Chamber. You can always email us at info@onesouthcoast.com with any questions. So June is a really busy month. I'm just looking at our notes here. We have a lot going on.
It's crazy.
We have the first Friday in June is our annual legislative luncheon. We host that at Rachel's Lakeside in Dartmouth, where we have a great number of our local legislators who will be joining us.
I think there's 8 or 9, right?
We have Senator Michael Rodrigues joining us. We have a first-timer, Senator Kelly Dooner, also joining us. And then we have a lot of our regulars, Carol Fiola. Of course, I don't have my full list in front of me, but
No, but I think Stephen Howitt's going to be there. I think
Steve Willett will be there. He's a newcomer.
Mark Sylvia.
Mark Sylvia will be there.
Will
He's
be
another
there.
newcomer. Yep. Chris Hendricks, he'll be there.
Yes.
He's an old pro at this event.
Exactly, and I'm not sure if Alan Sylvia can make it. And I think Chris Markey's not available.
Chris Markey is not available. Correct.
That's okay. They have other jobs and other lives as well.
Right.
It's more important.
Right.
that
The world
they're-
does not revolve around the Chamber, as much as sometimes we'd like it to. So anyway, we're having that again. That's Friday, June 6th at Rachel's Lakeside. And then the following Tuesday is our monthly South Coast Business Builders Breakfast, and that's going to be at Damien's Food Pantry in Wareham. So this is our first time going there,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how long they've been a member, but we're excited to be there, and we love reaching out because people don't always realize how great of an area we cover.
Yeah, we
Essentially,
cover-
it's Seekonk to Wareham.
Yeah, and that's big, but it's fun for us to get to new places or places that we haven't hosted our events there recently. But so we're looking forward to that one. Unfortunately, I can't make that day, but but we are, as a chamber, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And we've got some new faces coming to that as well. I know we've got a couple new faces coming, and so it'll be a good event.
We always love to see new faces. We talk about them at the Business After Hours, at the Business Builders Breakfast, and then we have our Women's Power Lunch that's coming up. That's a bi-monthly event, and that one's going to be at Sail Loft on Friday, June 20th. We always have new faces at that one, which we love. We love seeing new people, and sometimes, because we have so many events, we have them at all different times. We have them after hours, we have them in the morning, we have them in the afternoon, and that doesn't always work. Somebody can't always make it to all of them, so it's great that if they find their little niche time that works for them, and they're consistent with showing up to those.
Exactly. We've got so many small business owners, and some of them prefer to do something at 8 o'clock in the morning, and others prefer to do it at 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
So, and then others are in the middle of the day.
They want that midday break.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why we change things up and try different days, times, and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
It's important.
We try to have something for everyone's schedule, essentially. Yeah.
But the Women's Power Lunch, I've never been.
Oh, you love to bring that up. One of these days, we're going to talk about on here, Mike will have crashed the event. He's going to bring all the chamber boys with him, and they'll crash. I'm going to boot him right out. Anyway, if you that event is actually sold out right now. That tends to sell out very quickly, and we have a wait list going for that. So
that's great.
If you're a member and you're interested in joining, please join the wait list, and we'll see if we can get you in. So we're doing something new towards the end of the month. On the 24th, we're hosting an energy summit, and that's going to be at Merrill's on the waterfront in New Bedford.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun event. It's kind of a new topic for us, but energy has become such just such a news event, really.
Yeah.
It really, with the offshore wind world is kind of on hold a little bit. So we've and then you've got rising prices with electricity and things like that. So it's a good time to talk about energy. And right now it looks like we've got Jen Downing from the New Bedford Ocean Cluster. They've been doing fantastic work in the wind industry. Eversource, Kerry Britland is going to be there from Eversource, and she's, I've seen her speak. She does a great job. Isaacson Solar, it looks like they're going to be there. I'm not sure if it's going to be Chris Johnson or one of the partners speaking, but either way, it'll be great. And then we've also got Representative Mark Sylvia is going to speak, and then it'll be good to hear from the government. He's on the environmental and climate change and energy, and I forget the exact name of the committee, but he was years ago in the Deval Patrick industry. He was a commissioner in there.
Okay.
So he knows
his stuff.
So he's, it's his first term as a state rep, but when you have conversation with him, and he did a great job a few months ago when we did one of our government affairs meetings at Vance and Leather.
Yeah.
And energy was a topic there. He really did a great job. He's got a great delivery of of what's happening from the legislator side and how it works for the businesses. So he really does a good job. So Ian was able to get Rep. Mark Sylvia there. So we just have to hope that there's nothing going crazy in the legislature that day.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to make it. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good event.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple different panels depending on who else we end up with as panelists.
Yep.
So stay tuned, but you can register for that event. It's for members on our website at onesouthcoast.com. St. Anne's Credit Union is hosting their annual business after hours, and this year they're hosting it right here at Bristol Community College. That's going to be exciting, and that's going to be on Thursday, June 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. Registration is open for that. So again, you can visit our website at onesouthcoast.com. And then our annual Sip and Sail. This is always a fun event.
Yeah.
We do that on the Cuttyhunk Ferry right out of New Bedford, just across the street, a stone's throw away from our New Bedford office. And that's sponsored by the United Way of Greater New Bedford. They sponsored it last year as well. So that's a great event. That's going to be on Thursday, July 17th. And that's the only business after hours that we host that it is a fee for everyone to attend, because we're sailing on I guess it's the open seas. We kind of do a harbor cruise. It's not necessarily the open seas, but we do a beautiful harbor cruise right into Padenham Harbor. It's great.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It really is a lot of fun. I missed it last year, but it's a lot of fun. It's just you get out there, you get to see all the if you don't have a boat, which I don't have a boat. So you get to see all of you get to see the whole coastline, in Dartmouth and in New Bedford Harbor, and we don't go out to Cuttyhunk. Although the first year we were going to head out that way, but then as you got further out,
they said we were. I'm going to correct you, because they said if we were to go to Cuttyhunk, it would not be a leisurely cruise. It would be full steam ahead.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but we were worried that first year, and then the storm kind of went right around us, and we had a beautiful night, beautiful skies.
Yeah, but we're very grateful for Michelle Hampman and all of her team at United Way of Greater New Bedford, and that's going to be a fun event.
Yeah. So again, all of these events that we're talking about, if you're looking to learn more information, you can visit our website at onesouthcoast.com, and there's a little calendar button right on that homepage where you can check them all out. And that's the show.
Do we want to talk about the one that's after that? July 22nd?
Let's save that for next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Save that for next time. Yeah.
All right.
And that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It's
See you next month.
been fun.
Yeah.